Ladies and gents, this is the moment you've waited for.
The Greatest Showman was a really joyful film to get to make, and there were some hardships and some obstacles along the way. But the idea the entire time was to create something that was joy filled, that could entertain families and really appeal to a family, to a broad audience, through the joy of music, the joy of dreaming, of inventing and inspiring, and using one's imagination.
P.T. Barnum, at your service. I'm putting together a show, and I need a star. Every one of us is special.
It's a movie that really is a celebration of optimism and hope. It's not cynical at all. It really is a film that asks you to believe in possibility again and dreaming. And, I think some folks might find that corny, but I think that we're living in a really sort of challenging and divisive, dark time when reintroducing the idea of believing that the world can be what you want it to be and not having to accept it for what it is something that I think is really universally appealing. Yeah, it's really cheesy, but it's something that I think the world needs right now.
Look out, 'cause here I come. And I'm marching out to the beat I drum. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
There's something obvious about the song "This Is Me" from The Greatest Showman. Really was able to live outside the film in such a way that it was inspirational to people, and people were able to claim it as their own, and for so many causes, such a broad spectrum of groups and individuals that wanted to make that song their own anthem.
Won't let them break me down because I know that there's a place for us. I'm not scared to be seen. I make no apologies. This is me.
I, grew up as a gay kid who has always wanted to find external validation and love. And I think, the older that I've gotten, the more I realize that what I thought was my own sort of private need to be accepted is really something that a lot of people share. And so I think when we worked on This Is Me, that felt like a moment that really defined much of what the film would be about. That even when folks try to tell you that you're not worth something or you can't do something or the odds are stacked against you, despite how you look or how you were born into the world. The story of P.T. Barnum is defying all of those odds and not letting how you were born determine who you will become, but declaring that you have the power to decide to be anyone that you want to be, if you just believe it and you hold fast to that.
City of stars, are you shining just for me?
So, after having La La Land, I just more felt like, wow, we got to have another crack at it. Hopefully, we didn't ruin it for everybody, and thankfully, we didn't.
The process, originally we were only given the assignment to write one song, but we were really excited about the project, and this was also our first opportunity to ever write anything for the world of film. This, we auditioned for and began to write Greatest Showman before La La Land by a year and a half almost, and many songs got rejected, many songs got cut. There are tons of I guess old song fragments left on the cutting room floor. But eventually, over the process of years, we whittled it down and tried to get at the best song moments and the best reasons for characters to sing.
I know you're wondering why, because we're able to be just you and me.
All while trying to be conscious that we wanted it to be something that could also exist in the pop world to some degree while maintaining storytelling in its DNA.
Be our guest, be our guest, put our service to the test.
I grew up on the films, on the Disney animated classic films, Beauty and the Beast and Little Mermaid, and you can draw a line from that to High School Musical, to Glee, to sort of like all along my growing up and my maturation as a person, as an artist, music and people, the characters singing and breaking into song has been part of that journey. And so for us, it's very natural. So I think that you're getting a bigger audience now who are like, oh, they're singing? Sure. Okay. I'm along for the ride.
We loved musical theater storytelling. And now folks that are my age are getting to write. We're getting to write movies. Lin-Manuel Miranda is, writing Moana, and he's in his 30s, So I think there's sort of more of an offering now because the folks that grew up on it are excited to get to write in the style that they grew up loving. And hopefully the more of that exists and the more risks that are being taken and the greater amount of work that's being produced, the more that folks will embrace it.
When you're broken on the ground, you will be found. Let the sun come streaming in, 'cause you'll reach up and you'll rise again. If you won't.
It's really ultimately a story about parents and children and how we relate to each other and how we are so desperate to bridge, connection with each other in a time that it feels increasingly difficult to do so.
Actually, really about bigger topics than just high school or being a teenager. It's about, I think, what any of us feels like, that feels alone, that feels isolated, lacking a community, lacking any kind of connection, feelings of anxiety, depression, loneliness. It's actually kind of also a funny show, but lest we think that it's just a big Debbie Downer of a musical. It's a lot of fun, but in there we touch on some, I think, some important issues, and in a way that's similar to The Greatest Showman, just in the way that both of those shows sort of touch on people who feel disenfranchised, people who feel on the outside.